They say the Great Pyramid of Giza is Egypt's most mysterious monument. But what if I told you there was once a structure so vast, so mind-bending, that even the pyramids seemed small beside it? A place described not by conspiracy theorists, but by Herodotus himself, the father of history. He wrote of a labyrinth with 3,000 rooms, some above ground, some hidden deep below, all connected by endless, twisting passages. Now pause for a moment. Imagine standing before such a structure. Corridors stretching endlessly, staircases plunging into the earth, chambers that seem to swallow sound, and in the middle of it all, secrets guarded so fiercely that pharaohs feared even to speak of them. Yet this labyrinth existed and then vanished. Herodotus claimed he saw it with his own eyes around 450 BC. He compared it to the pyramids and said outright, "The pyramids are nothing compared to the labyrinth." Think about that. Egypt's most enduring wonders, overshadowed by something the modern world has almost completely forgotten. So where is it? If it was real, why is there no sign today? Did the sands of Egypt consume it, or was it deliberately erased from history? And here's the spine-chilling twist. In recent decades, traces have been found beneath the desert floor, suggesting Herodotus might have been telling the truth all along. Stay with me, because as we descend deeper into this mystery, the question becomes more dangerous. What lies hidden in the labyrinth of Egypt, and why has the world been kept from knowing? Herodotus wasn't vague about what he saw. He described the labyrinth in detail, almost as if he wanted future generations to never forget. According to him, the structure stretched across an entire plain, more than a fortress, more than a temple. It was like a city unto itself. He claimed the labyrinth had 12 covered courts, 6 facing north, 6 facing south, perfectly symmetrical. Within them were 3,000 rooms, half above ground, half below. Herodotus admitted he was only allowed to see the upper rooms, yet even those left him stunned. Corridors intersected like a puzzle, doors opened into endless passages, and chambers led into chambers until even he, the man known for his careful observations, became disoriented. But the real mystery lies in what he didn't see. The priests told him the underground chambers were sacred, forbidden to outsiders. Within them lay the tombs of kings and the secrets of an ancient world. Imagine that. Rooms sealed off for eternity, chambers that may have contained not only mummies, but perhaps records, maps, or technologies we cannot even imagine today. If Herodotus invented this, why describe it with such precision? Why compare it directly to the pyramids, knowing his words would be read by generations who could verify his claims? And here's where it gets stranger. Centuries later, other travelers and historians also mentioned the labyrinth. They too placed it near a city called Crocodilopolis in the Fayum region of Egypt. And yet, today, when you look across that desert plain, there is almost nothing to see. Just a mound of sand and ruins known as Hawara. But beneath those sands, explorers whisper, something massive still sleeps. So the question tightens its grip. Was the labyrinth simply a myth, or has it been hiding in plain sight all along? If you've ever wondered why viewers click away from a story, it's often because the tension fades too soon. But the Labyrinth of Egypt doesn't allow that. Every layer we peel back only makes the mystery darker. In the 19th century, explorers returned to the site Herodotus described, Hawara, near the Fayum oasis. At first glance, they saw nothing but sand, rubble, and the ruins of a pyramid belonging to Pharaoh Amenemhat III. No city-sized labyrinth, no 3,000 chambers, just desert silence. Many dismissed Herodotus as exaggerating, maybe even lying. In 1888, legendary Egyptologist Flinders Petrie began digging at Hawara. Petrie was no gullible dreamer. He was one of the most meticulous archaeologists of his time. What he found shocked him. Beneath the sand lay massive stone foundations, walls so thick and sprawling they hinted at something far larger than a simple temple. Petrie concluded that Herodotus hadn't lied. The labyrinth had been real, but over time it had been stripped bare, its stones hauled away, its grandeur reduced to ruin. Now pause. Imagine this. Standing in the desert, brushing away the sand, and suddenly realizing you are walking on the foundations of a wonder greater than the pyramids. Petrie wrote that the scale of it was staggering, even in ruins. If the upper chambers were this immense, what of the forbidden underground rooms Herodotus never saw? In the 2000s, a joint project called the Mataha Expedition used ground-penetrating radar at Hawara. What they detected beneath the sand was extraordinary. Vast, grid-like patterns stretching out beneath the earth. Layers of chambers, precisely where Herodotus had said they would be. So why haven't you heard of this? Why hasn't the world been shown the evidence? Because almost immediately, Egyptian authorities shut the project down. Access was restricted. Reports went silent. And the labyrinth slipped back into the shadows. This is where curiosity hooks even deeper. What did the Mataha expedition really see? Why was it silenced? And could the labyrinth's secrets still be locked beneath Hawara, hidden not just by time, but by choice? Herodotus gave us the first glimpse, but imagine for a moment stepping inside this vanished wonder. Ancient texts and modern scans allow us to reconstruct what it may have felt like. And if the upper chambers already disoriented visitors, the lower ones were said to be impossible to navigate without guidance. The entrance, according to accounts, led into vast courtyards, their columns towering like forests of stone. From there, corridors branched in every direction. Some led into shrines and altars, others into what looked like council chambers. It wasn't just a maze. It was an entire complex designed to overwhelm the human mind. Now here's where it deepens. The underground levels were said to hold the tombs of kings and sacred animals. Priests told Herodotus the labyrinth contained the resting places of crocodiles, revered in the Fayum, entombed alongside pharaohs. Think about that for a second. A hidden necropolis where men and beasts shared eternity. But even more mysterious was the possibility of sealed libraries within the chambers. Later, Greek and Roman writers hinted that the labyrinth stored texts of Egypt's earliest dynasties, maybe even records from before the dynasties began. If true, those scrolls and carvings could rewrite everything we think we know about human history. Modern radar scans strengthen the mystery. The Mataha expedition described patterns beneath Hawara that looked like long corridors and rectangular chambers stacked beneath one another. Their size suggested rooms vast enough to hold thousands of people, or thousands of secrets. Yet official reports brushed it all away as geological formations. So here's the question to keep you with me. Why would ancient Egypt build something so colossal, only to bury it in silence? Was it a temple, a tomb, or perhaps something else entirely? Some researchers even whisper it may have been a control center, a place where priests guarded not just bodies and scrolls, but knowledge of the stars, the floods of the Nile, and the fate of kingdoms. The deeper we go, the more dangerous the question becomes. What would we uncover if those sealed chambers were opened today? Every great mystery collects its shadows. Whispers of things too strange to be written in history books. The Egyptian labyrinth is no different. and some say it wasn't destroyed by time at all, but deliberately erased, its secrets buried to protect the world above. According to ancient lore, the labyrinth was not just a resting place for kings, but a cosmic mirror of the underworld. Its endless corridors represented the journey of the soul after death. To enter without permission wasn't just dangerous, it was to trespass into the realm of gods. Is it any wonder the priests told Herodotus he could not descend into the underground chambers? Other accounts hint at something even more unsettling. Giant sarcophagi hidden in the depths, belonging to rulers or beings unlike any ever found in Egypt's known tombs. Were these exaggerations, or were they remnants of an older civilization Egypt inherited from? Think of Göbekli Tepe, or Sumerian myths of gods walking among men. Could the labyrinth have been a vault for such memories? But here's where the story sharpens. Medieval Arab historians also wrote of strange ruins in the Fayum region, claiming that the labyrinth had chambers filled with the inscriptions of the ancients, knowledge so dangerous it was concealed to prevent its misuse. Some even tied it to the Atlantean myth, suggesting survivors of a lost world carried their wisdom here, encoding it in stone. Now ask yourself this. If even fragments of that knowledge still rest beneath Hawara, would revealing it challenge everything we know about history, religion, or civilization itself? And if so, is that why modern authorities have been so reluctant to reopen the case? The more researchers tried to publicize their findings, the quieter the story became. It's as if the labyrinth doesn't just resist discovery. It erases itself again and again. So the question burns brighter. Was the labyrinth a monument to death, or a vault of knowledge humanity was never meant to unlock? Egypt's labyrinth may not have been unique. Across the ancient world, echoes of similar structures appear, as if different civilizations, separated by oceans and centuries, were all reaching toward the same hidden blueprint. Take the Minoan labyrinth of Crete. Greek myth tells of King Minos who built a maze so complex that no man could escape. At its center lurked the Minotaur, a creature half man, half bull. Now scholars say this was only myth, but what if it was memory? A distorted echo of real labyrinthine complexes like the one at Hawara, passed down through time until fact blurred into legend. Or look to Mesopotamia. The Sumerians spoke of the netherworld, a place beneath the earth with 7 gates, guarded by spirits and demons. Their myths described it not as fiery chaos, but as a structured, ordered realm, eerily similar to Herodotus's descriptions of chamber upon chamber beneath Egypt. Could the labyrinth have been a physical mirror of these same ideas, a map of the soul's journey after death? Even in the Americas, at Teotihuacan in Mexico, archaeologists recently uncovered tunnels beneath the Pyramid of the Feathered Serpent. They found chambers filled with liquid mercury, carved figurines, and signs of ritual passage. Again, an underground city of the dead, a labyrinth designed to connect this world to another. What if the labyrinth of Egypt was part of this same global pattern? An ancient code, repeated across civilizations who had no known contact with one another. Could it be that the need to build underground, to create hidden passageways and sacred chambers, was not random, but taught or remembered? And then comes the chilling thought. If all these labyrinths across the world were reflections of one forgotten origin, what was that origin? A shared ancestor civilization? Survivors of a lost world, perhaps like Atlantis? Or something even stranger, knowledge passed down by beings humanity once called gods? The more we compare, the less the labyrinth of Egypt feels like an isolated marvel, and the more it feels like a piece of a puzzle humanity has yet to solve. The story of Egypt's labyrinth begins not in the sands, but in words. Herodotus, writing in the 5th century BCE, did not exaggerate lightly. He compared, weighed, and often doubted the tales he heard. And yet, when he described the labyrinth, his words were almost reverent. He confessed that even the pyramids, those colossal tombs that dominate Giza, seemed smaller in wonder compared to what he saw at Hawara. He spoke of 12 vast courtyards arranged in perfect order, flanked by towering walls, each leading to long corridors filled with thousands of chambers. Some rooms, he claimed, were accessible to the living, filled with monuments, carvings, and the histories of dynasties. Others, sealed beneath, were reserved for the dead, where kings and sacred crocodiles were entombed. Think about this for a moment. Herodotus was not describing myth. He claimed to have walked through these halls with his own eyes, and yet today, when we stand at Hawara, there is almost nothing left to see. Just rubble, dust, and fragments of walls eroded by time. How could something so immense, something said to rival the pyramids, simply vanish? The easy answer is destruction. Centuries of stone quarrying, floods, and shifting sands. But the harder question remains. Why has every attempt to find it again been stopped, silenced, or left unfinished? Could it be that the labyrinth was not merely a tomb or a temple, but something more? Something the ancients themselves sought to keep hidden. The story of Egypt's labyrinth begins not in the sands, but in words. Herodotus, writing in the 5th century BCE, did not exaggerate lightly. He compared, weighed, and often doubted the tales he heard. And yet, when he described the labyrinth, his words were almost reverent. He confessed that even the pyramids, those colossal tombs that dominate Giza, seemed smaller in wonder compared to what he saw at Hawara. He spoke of 12 vast courtyards arranged in perfect order, flanked by towering walls, each leading to long corridors filled with thousands of chambers. Some rooms, he claimed, were accessible to the living, filled with monuments, carvings, and the histories of dynasties. Others, sealed beneath, were reserved for the dead, where kings and sacred crocodiles were entombed. Think about this for a moment. Herodotus was not describing myth. He claimed to have walked through these halls with his own eyes, and yet today, when we stand at Hawara, there is almost nothing left to see. Just rubble, dust, and fragments of walls eroded by time. How could something so immense, something said to rival the pyramids, simply vanish? The easy answer is destruction. Centuries of stone quarrying, floods, and shifting sands. But the harder question remains. Why has every attempt to find it again been stopped, silenced, or left unfinished? Could it be that the labyrinth was not merely a tomb or a temple, but something more? Something the ancients themselves sought to keep hidden. The labyrinth is not alone in this mystery. Across the world, ancient cultures built great complexes, vast underground chambers, intricate passageways, and architectural marvels designed not just for the living, but for journeys beyond. In Crete, the legendary labyrinth of King Minos was said to house the Minotaur. In India, texts speak of hidden subterranean halls where knowledge was stored. In South America, beneath Teotihuacan, archaeologists discovered sealed tunnels filled with liquid mercury, a symbolic underworld, glittering like the stars. Everywhere we look, humanity returns to this same idea: hidden labyrinths beneath the earth. Were these just symbolic metaphors of the soul's journey? Or did ancient civilizations share some deeper, common purpose to build secret vaults, hidden from time, Perhaps to protect something humanity was not ready for. If so, then Egypt's labyrinth may have been the crown jewel of them all, a repository of knowledge, memory, and power. The labyrinth is not alone in this mystery. Across the world, ancient cultures built great complexes, vast underground chambers, intricate passageways, and architectural marvels designed not just for the living, but for journeys beyond. In Crete, the legendary labyrinth of King Minos was said to house the Minotaur. In India, texts speak of hidden subterranean halls where knowledge was stored. In South America, beneath Teotihuacan, archaeologists discovered sealed tunnels filled with liquid mercury, a symbolic underworld glittering like the stars. Everywhere we look, humanity returns to this same idea: hidden labyrinths beneath the earth. Were these just symbolic metaphors of the soul's journey? Or did ancient civilizations share some deeper, common purpose, to build secret vaults, hidden from time, perhaps to protect something humanity was not ready for? If so, then Egypt's labyrinth may have been the crown jewel of them all, a repository of knowledge, memory, and power. The desert holds its silence, but silence is never empty. Beneath the sands of Hawara, there may still lie a city of stone, a labyrinth whispered by Herodotus, confirmed in fragments by Petrie, and glimpsed in shadows by modern machines. We stand on the surface, staring at broken ruins, yet beneath us may stretch a wonder the ancients themselves considered beyond compare. Why then does it remain buried? Was it swallowed by time, or deliberately hidden from us? The world's great mysteries often end this way, not with answers, but with questions that pull us deeper. The labyrinth is more than lost architecture. It is a mirror of our own search. We dig, we scan, we chase the echoes of the past. And yet, just when the truth feels close, it slips into silence again. Maybe the ancients wanted it this way. Maybe the labyrinth is not just a place, but a threshold, and thresholds are not meant to be crossed easily. So the next time you think of Egypt, don't look only to the pyramids or the Sphinx. Remember the ruins at Hawara, the place where an entire civilization's secret may still lie hidden, waiting. And ask yourself, when the sands finally shift, when the doors of the labyrinth open again, what story will step out to greet us? Because sometimes the greatest wonders are not the ones we can see, but the ones still waiting in the dark.